Today's lesson will go over handling rude people on the phone. There are times when you make a necessary important call and you're met by a person who's rude and apparently lives their life just hating on people. So think of that guy you met when you're playing video games who just loves to be toxic. He's just talking shit. Let's say you've never met this person, you don't know him, and he doesn't know you. Either he's not having a very good day or he's just a bad person. After all, what do you know about him? This is the phone call between two strangers and possibly one you'll ever have. Look at how to handle that person. Apply the art of persuasion. Begin by making the conscious decision to react. To respond, not react. Remember, reacting is negative, responding is positive. Most people in the situation would react. They'd argue with him straight back, insult him, attitude for attitude, make him feel like shit. You're trying to beat him at his own game. But that's just temporary pleasure. It won't work to our advantage in the long run. We won't get what we want from that person. We won't calm them down. And we'll fall to their level. We need to make the conscious decision to respond and not react. Next, while he is talking, complaining, yelling, being genuinely unhelpful, or whatever, help him without interrupting. Then say, "I'm sorry, I must have said something to upset you. Did I?" And then just be silent. It may take a few seconds, but the other person will come back right with, "No, I'm sorry, I'm just not having a good day." Either that or they'll just double down on being toxic. At that point, just stay silent. You can always respond with, "Boy, I've had some of that myself. It's always a bad feeling." Now they understand that you understand how they feel. That's going to make them so much more better. It's going to make the conversation flow so much better too. Same idea goes for handling an incoming upset call with a slight twist. Let's say you represent a product or service and a customer comes in to vehemently complain. This also works in person just as well. Let's pretend right now you're on the phone with them. She starts the call, and then she just goes on and on about everything that's shit with your product. What do? First, take a deep breath. Because, come on, as soon as you take a deep breath in your life, everything goes right. Second, respond. You know that you have to respond to this. You know if you react to it, you'll make everything 10 times worse. Third, listen silently. Hear her out entirely. Do not interrupt. Fuck off. I understand you feel strongly about this, and quite frankly, I feel bad that you had to go through with it. If appropriate, apologize. If not, don't. Just put yourself in the other person's shoes. Use your power of empathy. When you sincerely speak this way, you'll disarm her, because she has readied herself for the reaction she expects from the average person who's going to shout right back at her out of defensiveness. Your calm, understanding response will come as a shock, and an unexpectedly one. 9 times out of 10, the person will calm down after that. No one wants to shoot fire with fire, because you'll get burned. Once you go back to the adult-to-adult state of mind, it'll be much easier to maintain a conversation with this person. If she doesn't calm down, we'll just go over polite, patient, and persistent. I'll talk about that in a later video. As long as you keep yourself in the adult state, you'll outlast the other person's parent or child state and end up with a positive outcome. One important point this example illustrates is the power of letting the other person have their say and hearing them out completely without interrupting. This is another habit we need to develop for this situation. For me, this was always a tough one, but I've made drastic improvements in this area since I became a consistent, conscious effort to practice this. No matter what I'm discussing, I naturally get so passionate about it that I just can't wait to get my point across, even if that means cutting off someone mid-sentence. But that's so ineffective. It makes the other person it makes them think less of you, and it even hurts their ego. No one wants to have their ego hurt. Sometimes we need it, but off topic. Whether you're discussing politics with a friend, taking part in a social group debate, or making a sales representation from a prospect, you've got to let whoever is talking finish their point. If not, they'll become frustrated and angry, and no matter what point you make from that point on, they won't buy it. Interrupting and ramming home your agenda is really a form of intimidation, even if it's not intended that way. Not only is it very difficult to persuade anyone while interrupting, it also makes it extremely likely that you'll never get a second chance to make up your point with that person. Just don't interrupt. That's it. That was handling rude people on the phone.